Hey guys, what's up? It's Steve here with another episode of Steve's Art Studio. Now in this episode, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Who am I kidding? I say that every time. We're always doing something different. Ever since I did that graffiti painting a couple weeks ago, I've been getting all sorts of different comments. Comments like, hey Steve, how do you do graffiti? Or hey Steve, how do you get your lines so straight? Hey Steve, what kind of markers do you use? Hey Stevie boy, how are you so damn sexy? Now I don't know if I can teach you guys to be this sexy. I mean, that's just something I've kind of learned to turn on. Bam! Oh yeah, that's what it is. Every day, always flossing, always on the grind. Ain't no thing but a chicken wang. Okay, that's enough. Now, since I can't teach you guys how to be so sexy, I'm going to teach you guys the next coolest thing. I'm going to teach you guys how to draw graffiti. This is going to be the first episode in a 3-part series where I'm going to teach you guys all the steps to learning how to draw graffiti. Now, there is a lot more to learn than I can teach you in 3 videos, but I'm just going to kind of stick to the basics. Basically, I'm just trying to teach you guys the fundamentals, and if you guys have any questions at all, you can feel free to put them in the comments section as I respond to every comment you guys leave me, just because you guys are so beautiful. I want you guys to have a solid foundation to build on. I mean, when I started graffiti, I had no idea what I was doing. I was doing all sorts of crazy stuff. I really didn't learn until I had a graffiti artist who was better than me come up to me and say, "Yo, Steve buddy, that is whack-whack-a-whack!" You know, needless to say, that kind of hurt my feelings. So I don't want you guys to have to go through with that. Alright, without further ado, let's get started on the first segment, letter structure. Alright guys, so the first lesson we're going to start with is letter structure. Now letter structure is very important. Without letter structure, you're totally lost, you know? It's something that you really need to understand before you even try and do graffiti. So that's basically why I want to teach you guys letter structure, because you know, when I started doing graffiti, I think I must have gone about a year or 2 years just having no idea what I was even doing. You know, I thought I knew what I was doing, and that's what a lot of graffiti artists do. They start out where they just don't know what they're doing, and until someone steers them in the right direction, they're just lost. So I don't want you guys to go down that road. I'll show you an example of what I used to do when I first started doing graffiti. When I started out, I didn't even know that you were supposed to design a letter with any sort of structure. I kind of just did this. Let's say I'm designing a B right now. You know, I would kind of be like, okay, here we go, that looks cool. Down there, oh, let's add an arrow, because arrows are cool. Yeah, that looks good. Over down here, like that, woo. This is looking epic. Oh yeah, I am the shizzle. Yeah, this looks great, whoa. And then of course we have to add these little things right here because that's what a bee looks like. And yeah, that is one awesome bee. Well, the truth is, guys, that is not an awesome bee. That is a horrendous bee. Don't even think that this looks good, because it doesn't. It is horrible. In fact, it's that horrible that I'm just gonna get it out of here. Let's do this the right way. Let's pick another letter. How about an A? Because it's a real simple letter. Now, when designing a letter, you want to think about, well, you want to kind of treat it like you're designing a font, you know, like a computer font. I don't do this anymore, but it's a good way to start. Just kind of draw some lines across here. And now we kind of have a track that the letter's gonna sit on. Now, let's just draw a simple letter. Pretty basic A, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna thicken this up. We're gonna add a line there, and a line there, and then a line here, and a line here. So it's already thicker. Now we're gonna close off the bottom, and we're gonna close off the top. And then here's something that I just wanna quickly talk about. When I'm doing this crossbar here, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either just do it just as thick as these bars, like so, but another way to do it is to think about it as the way you treat calligraphy, or I guess if you were doing a tag with a graffiti marker. A nib on a marker, you know, the end part, it's kind of shaped like this, and what that means is that when you're moving up or down, you get these thick lines, but when you're moving sideways, you get a really thin line. So what a lot of graffiti artists tend to do when they're designing their graffiti is they tend to make a lot of the lines that go this way thin. And that's something I kind of have a habit of doing. Sometimes I'll make them thick, but I'm just letting you guys know that this is a way you can do it. You can make your, horizontal bars thin, and it's just a way of adding a different kind of style to it. Alright, now clearly we have our A there, and it's looking okay, but you have to ask yourself, how can we add some more style to that? Well, someone who doesn't understand graffiti would say, oh, let's add an arrow right at the top. And let's add an arrow flying out here. No, that's not what we want to do because that looks whack. Now, what we're gonna do though, is we're basically gonna just add some serifs. And that's something that's used in fonts all the time. It's basically just a simple part of the letter where it juts out, and it can usually be found at the top or the bottom. So we're just gonna add a couple serifs to this. Yeah, let's add one going this way. I mean, you can add them in all sorts of places. I could have added it here instead of here, but I just decided this is where I was gonna add it. And yeah, that kind of just a simple way of adding some more style. Now another thing I can do is, because I have this crossbar here, you know, I can kind of follow it through over here. And you know, it's just another way of adding some simple style to the letter. Alright, now there's one more really simple way we could add some style to a letter. When I first drew this letter, I kind of just went with the simple A, you know? I just kept it real simple and straightforward. Well, here's another way of doing it. Let's say we have our A here. What could we do to make this different without going too crazy as to start adding balloons and fireworks and all sorts of rubbish? Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna add some curves. And you know why? We're gonna add curves because the human eye likes curves. It's just the way it is. That's why we like cars. That's why we like shoes. That's why we like everything, you know, just because it has curves. So there you go. I just added some simple curves. Instead of going with these straightforward ones, I'm adding some curves. And now we're gonna thicken up these curves. Thicken it up. We're gonna thicken it up. Thicken it up, man. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we're gonna close the top, close the bottom, just like we did with this A up here. And we're gonna do the crossbar again. And now we're gonna add some serifs again. So let's just put some of those in, one up there. Let's do both of these going in, so they're kind of facing each other. That's a cool idea. And then we'll toss this out the side over here. We'll toss this out the side over there. Now you see, guys, just by adding some simple curves to the letter, I've already made this look like a graffiti letter, you know? I didn't even have to do that much, and that's what I'm trying to show you guys. You don't have to go too crazy at the get-go. You just keep it simple and just try to adjust things a little bit. Remember, adding curves and adding serifs really does a lot for your work. Thanks for joining me, and stay tuned to the next episode on connecting letters. Peace.